need a miracle. I need a miracle. I need a miracle. Well, I need to stay today. Peace. Fighting for my rights to see the light. Fighting for my rights to see the light. Okay, grand rising to the family. Grand rising. Love and light. Yes, peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. Peace to the people who are not gods and goddesses that are just watching. I shout out to you as well. Peace to the dogs and the bitches and the niggas. And peace to the woke folk. Peace to the 85ers. Peace to the 5%ers. Islam, Hotep, Shalom, Namaste. You know, I come in peace. Right? Anthony, what's good, my guy? On this beautiful Thursday morning, I just want to give thanks to the Creator. I want to give thanks to my mother, right? And my father. And my siblings. And my loved ones. My children. My future. And they mamas. And my community. My village. My network. My followers. You know. My leaders. I don't like saying followers. What I've been shown, right? I don't know if this thing is tangled or not. I have an entanglement going on with this stone. But from the people that I've met on my travels, hold on 1 minute. Yo. Yo. Bye. Yes, excuse me. Pardon me. Just had to take a break real quick. Yeah, but based on my interactions with people who watch me on the internet, these are not followers, these are leaders, right? People pull up on me and they have leadership qualities. You know what I'm talking about? I have quality of membership. You know, I talked about an incident that I had when I was on a train. This was recently, and I was sleeping, and an individual who watches me on the internet, they thought that they saw me, and I guess they recognized me and whatnot, but I was sleeping, right? I was catching up on some sleep because, you know, this work is very demanding. It will put you to sleep sometimes. And the brother was so enchanted by my presence. Shake it up. Let's get it. I'm gonna ride. Roll it right now. Yo, can you grab? Is it possible to get some tea when you make a run? Just say half of this. Yeah, my voice is shot. They got CMOS? All right, good looking. So he was so enthralled that he decided to wake me up whilst I was sleeping, right, on the train to say, brother, are you red pill? And, you know, that's one encounter out of about 500 that I had. So it's 1 in 500, right, that have been kind of like goofy and shit. But for the most part, everybody that I meet has leadership qualities. They're not followers. They have established within themselves a mind state of, leadership and godhood. Yes, sending out love and light to the California family. There's been an earthquake in California. I just want to make sure everybody is in their, best mind states and whatnot, and no one was harmed in the process. You dig? So, yes, California. And the individuals that I had the opportunity of meeting, both men and women and children, right? This is not just about the old heads or the OGs. These people are naturally born leaders. And the reason why I open up and I say, when you wake up in the morning, we say grand rising, and we give gratitude to the Most High and the Creator. And we definitely give gratitude to the ancestors and, our loved ones who are still with us and things of that nature, because what we're doing is we're creating an atmosphere where the blessings die. I'm on a live. It's good. Yeah. Where the blessings or the blessings are going to continue to flow, because if you show gratitude, then you will continue to be rewarded and gifted by what we call circumstances, right? What we call circumstances, some people just call haphazards. What we call circumstances, we call opportunities. And what we call opportunities, we call windows to improve our lives. Case in point, right? The title of this conversation is called Passion Economy. Welcome to the Passion Economy. Now, this economy didn't exist years ago. Okay? This economy did not exist in its totality years ago. But this tea is good. But the reason why I say gratitude is important, because there's really nobody else that you could be giving it up to that's creating the scenarios, whereas you as an individual who may have been busting their butt all of their lives with sweat equity, right? Sweat equity meaning that you got to sweat for your dollar. You might have been busting suds. You might have been pushing a broom, pushing a mop. You might have been doing what other people's mamas was doing, scrubbing toilets. You might have been picking fruits like a Mexican. You might have been climbing up to on top of cranes and whatnot, because there's a lot of people who are in construction, who just came home, who got a record, and they can't work for nobody. That's sweat equity. That's putting in that work. That's being part of the labor force. Then you had situations where you could be a part of the gig economy, right? I'm saying all of this to say that different economies bring about different opportunities, and different opportunities bring about different probabilities and possibilities for individuals to rise up out of poverty, right? Because that's what we addressed, especially on my page, the sins of poverty and what it's doing to the world and how we get out of it, all right? So we don't want to be inundated with, the remnants of what poverty does. We listen to rap all fucking day. We go outside all of our lives. We know what poverty is. We know what it smells like. We know what it looks like. We know how to spot it when it's coming down the block, right? Like, I could tell poverty on someone's breath, even if they smell like cinnamon. You know what I mean? I could look at somebody and tell the level of poverty their mind may be in. Okay? And I do that not for judgment and not to be conceited or anything. I do that for my own protection. Okay? So when I'm amongst somebody and I know that they have high levels of poverty, then I adjust myself to deal with them on that level. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not going to flash riches. I'm not going to speak abundance into somebody who's poverty minded. No, I won't, because they won't hear me. So what these new economies are doing is they're opening up possibilities for us. Let me just speak about the gig economy. For 10 years, the new economy that was really doing the most was the gig economy. Uber, right? Uber doesn't own any cars. But if you have a car and you want to take your time out and you want to make your money, you go and work for Uber. If you have a empty bedroom and you want to invite people over and you're a great host and you know how to make people feel at home and your oatmeal raisin cookies are something that to be to be spoken of in places like Walmart, and you work for Airbnb and they take a percentage of your earnings because you now have monetized something of your own, right? You've monetized something of your own, which would be an empty apartment. Or you could work on Fiverr, meaning that you have a skill set like designing flyers, right? Like designing flyers, or like, creating templates of websites and whatnot. You may be an app developer, right? You may be into virtual. There's so many things. There's so many things that you can do in the gig economy that will say, you know what, instead of working for corporate America, instead of waiting for somebody to hire me, right? You could be a great writer. Exactly. You could write blog posts. You could write vlogs. You don't have to write. You could do video vlogs, right? Which is a video blog. Somebody says, please share this on IGTV. I'm going to do my part as not followers, as leaders who are watching this. I would just ask you, can you do your part? Can you screen record this as it's going along, as an insurance and as a backup? I've lost some of my greatest conversations, on Instagram Live, which leads me to what the passion economy is about and why we may have to really reconsider, right, the economy that we're giving all of our power, our strength, our sweat equity, our intelligence to, right? Because the old economic model is dead. It's dead in the water. It doesn't really function for our benefit anymore. And I'm not talking about the gig economy. I'm speaking of the 9 to 5. I'm speaking of the economy that our parents belong to. That economy, the 401k, the 925, the wake up 5 a.m., get back 5 a.m., that part. That's what I'm talking about. That part, that economy has been disrupted, right? And if you belong to that economy, in no way am I attacking you. This is my disclaimer. In no way am I judging you. In no way am I telling you to walk out right now. In no way am I making you feel lesser than, because that's not what this conversation is about. What this conversation is about is me delivering information that's priceless, that can change your life, right? Just by listening to me and doing the research, your life could be changed. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not judging, right? You got to say that, because sometimes people will feel like you feel that you're in a position to whereas you can look down on them while they're in their cubicle and whatnot. I was in a cubicle. You know what I'm talking about? I was in a cubicle. I wouldn't put it beyond myself to go back to a cubicle if I had to. I want to have a lot of children. I got 3, and they're the loves of my life. Shoot, if everything works out as planned, I'll have 13, and I'll never have to go back to a cubicle. But if I had to, I would. It's not beyond me. But why I'm grateful, why I'm grateful, and why I know that I'm living in the right time. Remember, the power of the right now, not the power of the now, the power of the right now. Right now is lit. Right now is lit, right? Right now, it is lit. Right now, the world and life as we know it is a little bit littier than it was in our parents' days. You know, I beg to differ, because a person would be like, well, what about Corona? And what about other things? I would say this. Why don't we sit down with our parents? Why don't we sit down with our grandparents? Why don't we sit down with our great-grandparents and with a pen and a pad and a voice recorder? You should be recording any of your elders with a voice recorder. And if you have a tripod, you should be capturing their image anyway. Just talk to them. Just ask them any questions. There's so many things going on in the news. Every single day there's a hot button story. Every single day there's a story that's hearkening back to their days and ages. You know what I mean? This giving you, because we live in this centrifugal, secular news cycle. And it's a news cycle because the world goes in a cycle. So a lot of stuff from the 60s is back. You know, John Lewis, a bunch of things. The white supremacy, you know what I mean? All of these things. So we could talk to our elders, and we need to film them. They're not going to be here forever, okay? They have shit to do in another dimension, on another plane, another planet. Planets are planes. This is a binary planet. There are planets that are trinary. There are planets that are quadrary. You know what I mean? This is a binary planet, meaning that it's the dualistic planet. Two genders, male and female, hot and cold, AC, DC, negative, positive, up and down. This is a binary planet, and everyone has an opposition on this planet. No one is equal. The cat is not equal to the dog. The pig is not equal to the horse. Everybody has a natural foe. So you have a natural foe. There's what is called antagonist and protagonist. That's what you signed up for on this dualistic planet. It's the sun and it's the moon. There's other planets with 5 suns, 4 moons. That's not this planet. This is a dualistic planet. So you obey the laws of duality. Stop inboxing me articles about people who don't like us, like white people. That's your natural, quote unquote, opposition. You don't get no points for proving that white people are the quote unquote antagonists in this story. There's no points in that. We get it. We got it. Good. Let's move on and get to this bag, though. Let's get these streams and whatnot. I'm a stream chaser. I'm chasing my streams so I could taste that cream and I could live out my dreams, right? It's not hard. This is CBD, FYI. It's not hard. You understand? It is not difficult in these days and times. That's why I say the power of the right now. I need y'all to tap in, because on Sunday, I'm gonna pin it in a minute. On Sunday, me and Billionaire PA is gonna be doing a very powerful, inspiring, thought-provoking dissertation to about a few hundred people. We've expanded the class from 44 at my request. And what the gig economy had is still limitations. Why? Because, let me share with you. If you work on Fiverr and you do a job for $5, you're going to get $3, right? If you do an Airbnb, you're going to get a percentage. Now, if this live cuts for any reason and you're interested in the class, and we set the prices to where you are going to set, this is the only time that I'll ever do this. This is actually an experiment, right? Because I'm in the passion economy. I belong to the passion economy, right? I am the face of the passion economy, okay? I'm going to claim it. I'm the face of the passion economy. What is the passion economy? The passion economy is the new economy that you see rise before you. The fact that I could teach you with no middleman right here, off of my skill set, off of my expertise, off of what it is that I studied all of these years that I know, I could go on a website like teachable.com. I could go on a website like skills.com. I could go on a website. I could build my own teaching platform. I could become my own professor. My father, Wayne Moreland, he met my mama, right, in college. He's a professor, right? That's a whole nother story. He's a professor, right? Correct. And for my whole life, my father wanted me to be a professor, right? And my brother, he wanted us to follow in his footsteps. He actually, you know, if anybody knows my dad, he's a very serious man, right? He's a Libra. And all of my friends, they used to come around and be like, damn, your dad is serious. He don't play. You know, he rocking his afro and shit. He just got that look. Like, that's where I kind of get that from. Where he just looks at, you don't even got to say nothing. You just be like, all right, my bad. I don't want no smoke, right? And my father always wanted us to be teachers. He always wanted us to be professors. He actually got me in what you know as the new school. If anybody lives in New York, he worked in Parsons, right? He's a teacher in Parsons. He worked at DC 37 and Queens College, a few other places. So he met my mom's at Columbia, though. My dad was a professor in Columbia, right? That's like an Ivy League school in New York. Well, no, that's CUNY or SUNY, whatever. And he got me inside of the new school. And this was in the 90s. And I wasn't ready to go to no new school. You know what I'm talking about? My new school was Flatbush Avenue and Cortelyou Road. My new school was the D train. That was my new school, right? My new school was Atlantic Avenue. My new school was Macy's 34th Street. That was my new school. That was the schools that I was going to. I was learning in the School of Hard Knocks. My school became C74, Rikers Island, Mod 6. Then I went to Mod 9. Then I went to 10 Lower, where I linked up with the guys. And it was gang from that point on, right? Shout out to all of my Flatbush Massive. Shout out to We Are Flatbush. Shout out to Popeye. Rest in peace, Poop Man. Hold on. This is who I do it for, right? This is who I do it for. This is my day one. I'm going to have his tattoo put on me in the future. This is who I do it for, because when I hopped off of the porch, right, me and Poop Man, right, and his brother, Man, we had the discussions about not working for nobody. We had the discussions after we listened to the DJ Clue mixtapes and some Biggie and some Pop. He loved him some Tupac. We had conversations about, you know, living that life, right? We didn't even smoke blunts. We was teenagers. We was chasing tail, right? And we was trying to stay alive because they was spinning the block all the way back then. And they was doing it for the hell of it, right? If anybody live in Flatbush, you know about Tennis Court, you know about Regents, you know about Man from 19th, you know about Man from Th3rd. You know that it was real in them fields. I'm talking 91, 90. I went to Rikers Island in 1993, scared out of my fucking wits. I shit you not, walking up in that bitch. My heart almost jumped out of my skeleton. You know what I'm talking about? Vanderveer. My heart almost jumped out of my body. 6 months later, I didn't want to, my father bailed me out, and I was upset. I felt like I was letting people down, you know? But that era has molded individuals like me. And if you weren't even born in that era, you know, and you're like, damn, I wish I lived through the 90s, man. Because there was ingredients that were added to this recipe that you cannot buy. You cannot vicariously get from BET or MTV or VH1 or the reality shows. You can't steal it. You can't even copy it. It's ingrained in my DNA. It's part of experience. It's part of memory. You understand? That the whole outside was rites of passage. You feel me? The visits was crazy on Rikers, right? Yo, when I say the visiting room was crazy, I had a red ID twice. A red ID is when, you get in trouble and whatnot, and you basically a threat, and you got to do time in the Bing, right? Or if you done time in the Bing, or if you a predicate, if you cut people a lot, you have a red ID. You understand? A red ID was a badge of honor. A red ID was a Twitter blue check on Rikers. Facts. A red ID is the Twitter blue check. It's whatever. Does Instagram have blue checks too? Well, it's that too. Right? If you got a red ID, you that guy. You a predicate. They call it a predicate. Go and look it up. All of the predicates got red IDs, right? That means that you'll cut something. You understand? So a nigga gonna think twice before he pop off on a red ID, because you gonna go razor for razor, cut for cut. Picasso for Picasso. Picasso Basquiat. They called it artwork, right? When you see niggas with shit drawn on their face in these streets, you see niggas with permanent Bluetooths. If it's a white boy, that's a Warhol. That part. And they was putting in a lot of pain and a lot of works. Rikers Island is the razors. I had the Gemstar razors and the rug. The rug cutters? The shit that looks like a trapezoid, it don't break. I have rug cutters. Blue Pill came on a visit. I became a legend on the island for this. Blue Pill came on a visit with some black duct tape, right? Wrapped around 30 rugs. 30. And they had family day. And my brother came in looking just like me in street clothes. And they didn't know who was who. And it was, I can't say everything that went down, but it was some Ocean 13 type shit taking place. And, he was making sure that he brought in the arsenal. The arsenal. So people would be on the visit was wild. It was an experience, right? And I learned from that. So Rikers Island is the razors, and up north is the shank. The big house. When you go to the Sing Sing, there's 71 prisons in New York State. We live in New York City. I'm in Brooklyn. We live in New York City. Surrounding, like if you drive 14 hours and going down south, you hit Atlanta, right? From right in New York City. I could get in the car right now and do 14 to 16 hours, depending on how fast I'm going. I'll hit the Atlantis. I'll hit the A. Shout out to the ATL. KTL and the ATL. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. But if I go 14 hours from where I am right now, going up north, I'm still in New York City. I'm in Plattsburgh, right? I'm in Plattsburgh. I'm not in New York City. I'm in New York State. I'm in Plattsburgh. And from Plattsburgh, I could go into Montreal, because I did that in 91, right? Along those 14 hours going upward is what they call the mountains, right? These are New York. Remember, we have the Adirondack Mountains and whatnot. New York has a lot of mountains. New York State, that is. Bear Mountain, the Adirondacks, and when people get locked up, they're like, we going to the mountains. That's the mountains. There's 70 plus prisons, from minimum, medium, and maximums. And they all gladiator schools. And everybody from the town works in the prisons. Everyone is related. Some are inbred, right? And they have no hang-ups about expressing their hatred to you in your face, right? In your face. Yeah, the cat skills. So for the men that come home, it's no wonder why they come home. The OGs, the big homies, all of them come home with a socially conditioned mind to where they can't say, I'm coming home to sell drugs. They can't say, I'm coming home to hit the block. They can't say, I'm coming home to put niggas to sleep. It's impossible after seeing what they saw behind the wall to not come home and be like, I'm trying to stop these children from going where I just came from. I'm trying to turn around the pain or the poison that I put in my community, right? They're obligated. After you do a bid, you're obligated. But guess what happens? A lot of them don't live up to what they said that they're going to do. And they back to drug dealing. They back to pimping. They back to doing all kind of stuff that's taken away and putting a lot of people at risk for being legal slaves. Now, off of that, right? I'm only speaking about that because I have to speak to the downward plight of many talented, many skillful, right? Individuals who in this new economy could be millionaires. Passion economy. What is the passion economy? The passion economy is the new economy that has risen up because of this COVID crisis. Everything has changed. The new economy that's in front of you is the passion economy. It's about the individual now. You see, the gig economy was about the individual, but it's about the company. It's about Uber. You don't say pull up Red Pill. You say pull up Uber. You don't say, I need to get Red Pill to drive me every time. No, you're not loyal. You don't. You'll take anybody in the gig economy. You don't go on, well, maybe on Fiverr, but somebody says they do a flyer. There's 100 people. You go to Design Crowd. There's 100 people. You go to peopleforhire.com. There's hundreds of people doing the same thing. But there's not 100 Buffy the Bodies on OnlyFans. There's just Buffy the Body, right? And I'm using that as an example, right? OnlyFans.com is part of the passion economy. And when I say passion, I'm not saying it in a sexual manner or in a sexual way. I'm saying that you are now getting paid for your passion. Understand me. Walk with me. Give me a hashtag wealthy if you understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to put this Cash App in here right now because, like I said, you have the opportunity to tap in to a class on Sunday. There's going to be it's going to be more than just this conversation, right? And yes, and we're going to learn. We're not going to learn something that's going to make us angry. We're not going to learn something that's going to, quote unquote, put us in fear. We're not going to learn something that's going to diminish our energy and activate the cortisol, right? We're not going to do fight or flight. We're going to walk away saying, oh my goodness, turn the computer on. We going online to get right. We're going online to get right. Patreon.com has saved teachers, has saved health workers, has saved artists, have saved graphic designers. It saved communities. Patreon.com, a website where an individual, right? An individual is given the opportunity to monetize, right, their individualism, to allow the people, right, to put a value and an appreciation on said person's skill set, whether it be a Patreon for a comic book creator, whether it be a Patreon for somebody in fitness, whether it be a Patreon for a cook, whether it be a Patreon for a rapper who's showing you the process of making a song, right? His or her patrons are cutting out the middleman. No one had to hire you. No one had to qualify you. No one had to read your resume, right? None of these things took place. You did not have to wait for a callback in order to do what? In order to create a stream of income, because that is what this conversation is in a nutshell. It is about the mentality that we all share. I'm speaking to you about the passion economy because I'm the face of it in my world, right? And many people are the face of it in their world. I won't step into your world and get in your way. And I'm just saying, I'm sure that you don't step in my world because, we don't want worlds to collide. We want them to spin cohesively, right? So what we're seeing is that there's a new economy that has arisen. It's not the end all be all, meaning that you might not be able to depend on this one stream forever, right? But if you live in the right now, I'm looking for my damn comment so I could pin it.
Finish that? Suburban.
Yeah.
My brother.
What up?
Yeah. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Peace. I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Indeed.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
Finish that. Smoke.
Yeah, that's done. Yeah.
Alright.
That
You
was.
can come up. Me and somebody take care of some business, but I got
I'm gonna hit you.
to talk to you about.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
feeling that crown, yo.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, she smoke.
Indeed. Appreciate that, King. Look at these braids, though. Y'all talking about the crown. Look at these braids, though.
Oh, so you giving it up now?
Hold on. Look at the braids. Look black to
Crystal.
me. Yeah, look at the braids.
I see you, Pharaoh.
You know?
That's
I
pretty
appreciate
cool.
it. Yes.
Well, good for
Nesup
you.
Biddy, I prefer that. I prefer the Nesup. Yeah. But yeah, I'm on live right now.
Okay, no doubt.
Yes, sir. So, close, you do.
Yeah, with your hairstyle, bro.
Appreciate that, yo. Can you hit that door?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Patreon, right? Patreon is allowing. Matter of fact, I'm willing that Billionaire PA is gonna come in here because I want him to give you his Cash App. I don't want to give you my Cash App. I want Billionaire PA to give you his Cash App for the next 44 students to want to be a part of Sunday's class. I'm gonna wait for Billionaire PA to come in here and drop his Cash App. If that doesn't happen, all you got to do is inbox me. But when you inbox me or you DM me, give me your price and don't be ashamed, but you will not undervalue me. You will not undervalue Billionaire PA. Luxury exists. You know what I'm saying? And we're a part of that. So, we're not going to treat ourselves any other way. Not in a passion economy, because now we exist in a passion economy and you've been given the permission to run it up, right? You've been given permission to tap into the powers and the gifts that the Most High, your mother and your father, right? Your ancestors and other people who are divinely connected and entangled to you, they sent you here with a gift. We now live in a day and time where you can monetize that gift. You could commodify that gift. You could live off of that gift. Not only could you live off of that gift, you could take that and tap into something that's going to even evolve to something bigger, right? Because the power of the right now is that if you're doing it right now, you are going to have the vision of where it's going to go. Play a part in it. Don't just sit around, daydreaming all day about what it should and what it could and what it would have been if you were running things. No, be a developer, be a creator, utilize the click funnel of how to take an idea into concept, how to take concept, right, into into production, right? And how to take production into the market. There's a system. There's a funnel. It's the same way like the tree of life, right? It goes down, it emanates as a thought. The black dot starts as a dot, and then it goes down the tree until it winds up in Malkuth, which is the kingdom, which is the physical realm where we live right now. But we've all come down the tree of life with multiple gifts, with multiple talents. And I've been saying this since y'all met me. I don't know what year everybody on this line met me. Put it in the chat room. What year did you meet me? Because you met me before I met you. You know me, and I don't really know you. I deserve to know you. I deserve to sit down and benefit from your presence. I want to unwrap some of your presence, because you've been unwrapping presents for me ever since Black Santa pulled up. So what year did you meet me? You could be a day one and be like, I met you in 1978. Okay, 2016, 2020, 2012. This is interesting. This is called data. I'm data mining. 2014, 2019, 2011. This is a part of the passion economy. I'm getting my metadata. I'm learning about who knows me and from when, because based off of the year that you met me, you might have known me in my previous iteration, or my 2.0, or my 3.0, or my 4.0. You are not connected to my story, and that's a great thing. So there's so much more to learn, because just on the internet, it's 10 years deep. Just on the internet, 2020. 2015, yeah, the numbers have gone up. So definitely a lot of people have just been introduced to me through like doing lives with Shaka, the Shifters, and then being on Sinetta's network from 2014 all the way to 2016. To me, that was the best running consciousness that I could think of on the internet. 2014 to 16, yeah, that was the run that made this whole thing what it is right now. You know what I'm talking about? That's the run. That's the marathon. That is the quote unquote marathon that Nipsey tapped into. That's the marathon that a whole bunch of people tapped into. But the blog talk era from when was that? 09-ish, right? We started Blog Talk January 8th, 2010, right? From that time up until like 2014, that was the seed planting, right? That was the heavy lifting. That was the how do you get to meet me? Awesome. I'm glad that you asked that question, because I'm going to give you the answer right now, right? Oh, you met me around 2015? Dope. I remember Rich had the DVDs in Harlem. That's a fact. Rich was hugging the block in Harlem. Rich was in Brooklyn. Rich was on Fulton Avenue. He wasn't hustling in Harlem. Sinetta was in Harlem. Sinetta was the distributor who was giving Rich the work. Amun was in Queens on Jamaica. And I was next to Sinetta. I was selling Kings County. I was one of the first clothing lines that put the ancestors on cloth. That's a fact. I resurrected the ancestors through the cloth, right? Through the cotton. How did they put it? They took us down with the cotton. They put us to sleep with the cotton. They put us in slavery with the cotton. So I resurrected the ancestors with the cotton. I came out in 2005. That's a Snapple fact. Black Dot was one of my funders. I needed to be funded, and he was one of my funders. Kings County is the name of the brand. I gave birth. And then when we started wearing the gods, you started hearing the gods. You know what I'm talking about? Because you got to look the part. You got to look the part. You can't just talk about it. My mama checked me about dressing like a teenager. My mama pulled my coat and was like, fam, you got to start, y'all in your 40s. Like when Malcolm and them and all of the leaders and everybody, the great ones, they looked, the things that they were saying, it got to match the fit. So I promote my own brand. I got a streetwear brand. I can't help it. I'm my own model. You know what I'm talking about? So I got to stay with my clothing on. Every time that you see me, if y'all met me in 2015, all the way from there, from 15 to 20, because my whole thing is in 5-year cycles. I came on the scene in '05, and then 2010, we started up Blog Talk. We took over Blog Talk. We created a archive that is going to be worth billions of dollars. Watch and see. If Joe Rogan got a few millies, watch and see what Know the Ledge Radio archive is going to be worth, right? In the foreseeable future, meaning that I'm going to be here to see it. But if you met me, 95% of what I was wearing came out of my creativity, from my hands. No one else. There's nobody making Kings County and just giving it to me. Well, we sent away for some stuff, and there's some stuff that, we basically collaborated with individuals with. But for the most part, I've crafted my own, identity, my own lifestyle, right? When it came, I wore certain sneakers for 1 year straight, right? I had ACGs with holes in it when I was on Th3rd. Nike boots that was talking to me, talk black to me. You know what I'm talking about? But it wasn't because I didn't have it. It's just because I was grinding so hard. And physical shit didn't mean nothing. Materialism, trying to look cute for the gram, or trying to have the felony look, or trying to keep up with niggas with their pants sagging, that didn't mean anything to me anymore. I forsake that whole ego. I sacrificed. I put that nigga on the cross. I burnt him on a stake on 125th Street for like 10 years. He was burning. Sinetta had the pictures with the ancestors that were lynched out of the book called Without Sanctuary, right? I lynched myself. You know what I'm talking about? Because to stand out there in the open air, like niggas, they could take pictures of you from a blimp, right? Anybody could take a picture of you on 125th Street. I'm standing out there. This is Twin. This is not Red Pill. Niggas in the street know Twin, right? So this is Get Money Twin. This is hopping out of everything, hopping out of all kind of foreigns. I'm rolling with my peoples in Atlanta. They hopping out of everything foreign. Lambos, you name it, Bentleys, whatever. This is Twin. I got pictures that I just put up when we was in Miami in '99. Nigga, that's not silver that we have around our neck, bro. That's platinum. And those ain't Bartier. Those ain't Bartiers. Those are Cartiers. You feel me? And those are not deuces that we're with. Those are dimes. Those ain't stallions either. Those are those women that we were surrounded with, bro. That's quality. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm on 125th. There's a man right here with a bullhorn, right? Then there's another elder named Dr. Jack Felder. He's yelling at black people, right? Then I'm standing in front of all of these pictures of people burning. And I'm not wearing polo. Niggas was pulling up on me like, fam, are you okay? Blink twice, my nigga, if we need to come and get you off. Because nobody could believe that I was standing on 125th Street selling T-shirts with King Tut on it when I used to sell niggas duffel bags of Louis. Duffel bags. I'm talking about, if you hear about, when we tell our story, when the documentary comes out, you'll see. Bags of clothes in the barbershops. Anybody from Flatbush, if you bought something from me back in the days, put a fire emoji. And what y'all need to understand is, it's not like we were following the trend. It's not like we were doing something that other people were doing. We were breaking, niggas was not wearing Hilfiger before we started bringing it in the hood like that. That's a Snapple fact. We were creating brands. We were giving them the Nautica and all of this other stuff. They didn't know what they was wearing. They didn't know what to wear. We dictated the style. We are the trendsetters. We did it through boosting. That's a Brooklyn thing. That's a Brooklyn thing. There wasn't no bootleg or nothing. That shit came in like '04. There was no such thing as a bootleg. We didn't know what that was. And nobody was bragging about buying their clothes from a store. That wasn't. There was no cool points in pulling up with a receipt. If you made your mama go to the store and buy you Versace, you're lame. You are super lame. You are the kind of person that listens to Terrence Trent the RB while you in the shower. That's you. You don't make your mama buy you no Polo or no Versace. You go and you get it out the mud. You know what I'm talking about? That's how we were raised. And I will never apologize for that. Like I said, the rites of passage that we were subjugated to is not the same rites of passage that everybody was subjugated to. So therefore, on that note, we're not the same. You know what I'm saying? And we're not equal because my experiences are you know, the shit that's going on today got people melting. And I'm like, what the fuck? How? How is that possible? How is this affecting you like that? What are you scared of? How is this white person supreme? Were they supreme when we was whooping their ass? Were they supreme when they was running from across the street from us? And just in 93, 94, when DMX was playing in 97, where my dogs at? Niggas was still standing up. What happened? This is definitely the Mandela effect. Back to the passion industry. You understand what's going on right now? So I could be passionate and become a millionaire. There's women that are passionate about their beautiful bodies and they have only fan pages, right? And they're showing the world how passionate that they can be with their bodies. There's men and women that are passionate about painting, right? And they have OnlyFans for their painting. They have Patreons. They have Etsy's. We could go down the line. But this is a real thing, family. Right? This is a real thing. All right? All right. Shout out to the Cash Apps. Right? This is a real thing with the passion economy. Okay? Shopify. Heavenly. You know? This is an actual thing, my friends. Right? So, we're going to get into some heavy teaching. You know, I'm dedicating the rest of this year to just dealing with income streams, prosperity, winning, being in the right now. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on that part because you get nothing out of all of that other stuff. They out here trafficking children. You've been known that. You know what I'm talking about? They out here doing, children is out here being sold for sex. Nigga, you listen to the same radio station that I listen to. You knew that they got little 17-year-olds talking about they pimping women. You got little girls talking about they're selling box, like city girls and whatnot. You walk through the same valley of death that I walked through. Don't act surprised. Oh, Donald Trump is crooked. Don't act surprised. Oh, Bill Gates is a lizard. Don't act surprised. Let's get past that and let's do something. Yes, hello. Let's get past that and let's build. Let's get past that and let us teach you how to tap into your passions so you can open up income streams in the passion economy. And I got people out here that's eating off of susu. How many people belong to a flower? Put a fire emoji in the chat if you belong to a susu flower and you getting that money. Right? I ain't even gonna ask who got the PPP check. I ain't even gonna ask, is manna falling out of the skies? Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, Poop Man. You know what I'm talking about? Because he's making a way for us. I love you, King. Thank you, Baba Dick Gregory. Thank you, Dr. Sabi. Thank you, Dr. Africa. Thank you, Baba Kalindi. Thank you, Minister Hafiz Muhammad. Thank you, all of the divine ascended masters. Thank you, Nipsey Hussle. Thank you, Pop Smoke. Thank you, thank you, Kobe, Black Mamba, Angiani. Right? All of this is a what a time to be alive. Thank you, Pluto. Thank you, Saturn. I opened this up speaking about gratefulness, right? The gratefulness. We are the Grateful Dead. You understand? We are the Grateful Dead. We the new Grateful Dead, right? We are grateful that we are here to witness this and to be a part of this and to be appreciated for our passions and our gifts. Because when you appreciate me for my gifts, you appreciate whoever designed me. You appreciate, my mother cured AIDS, FYI. So I'm going to talk to her about starting up her Patreon, right? I got an OnlyFans page for when I'm on mushrooms. I'm going to have conversations with the universe. When I'm on shrooms, when I'm on psilocybin, that is, right? When I'm going through my transformation, when I'm going through my initiation, when I'm going through my ritual, because I'm a grown-ass man. I'm 44. You know what I mean? When I reverse engineer the aging process with plant-based medicine that can heal me. Ayahuasca can heal me. I did the toad on the Lion's Gate. I told the people, I did a live. I did a Th3rd Thursday that same night. I was glowing, right? The Lion's Gate, 888. Everyone has fear. I fear every single time before any initiation. Before I smoked a joint, the first time I was scared, right? Before I climbed a mountain, I was scared. Before I did the toad, I was scared. But fear is false expectations appearing real. There's only one energy in the planet, and that's love. Embrace it. There's only one energy in this planet, and that's love. Embrace it. The universe is not out to hurt you. The universe did not create things to hurt you. The universe, that's called poison. And we're not telling you about any kind of poison. We're talking about tapping in to the gifts. We're talking about tapping into the present. Because if you take the right mushroom, like the golden teacher, right? It will tell you, you will find out what your skill is. Your skill set will go online. So stop cheating yourself. Learn. You have to initiate yourself. We got initiated into ratchetness. We got initiated into thought culture. We got initiated into all things fuckery. We got initiated into the LBGT culture. We got initiated into Western society culture. We got initiated into Americanism, Americana. We got initiated into all of the things that keep us in a place where we're mentally in a place of slavehood, poverty-minded consciousness, lower frequency energy, and things of that nature. That's why we spinning in circles and niggas is in the street wearing these motherfucking masks, and they need to keep them on because they out here looking shot in the face. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Niggas is looking hurt in these streets. Why? Because they are living backwards. The evils, right? They're not living forward. They're living backwards. That's spelled devil or the evil. Shout out to Sean Carter. And it shows. And then you could see it. You cannot run from this world that's being created around us. Passion economy. Tap in on Sunday. I'm willing you. I can't wait. We have a private group right on Instagram. You'll be added to the group. If you send your money, send your email, and we'll email you all of the information. Love and light to the family. I'm doing Th3rd Thursdays tonight on YouTube. Know the Ledge Media. Go and subscribe to it. Tap in. 1.